Well. Fancy seeing you here. How's it going, everybody? Shayne Gaines here, and today's vlog is going to be focusing around meal prepping and what I do for my lunches throughout the week. Super easy 3-ingredient meal prep that's high in protein, it's going to hit your carbs, and it's going to have a good amount of healthy fats. Did I also mention that it's delicious? I think that's a win-win for most people. So we're here at Atlantis Gym. As per usual, we're going to be doing a back workout today. See what our physique is looking now that it's the end of January. I've been in my lean bulk for coming up on 3 months now. I am up 12 pounds from my stage weight. And after this weekend, I actually have my first check-in with my coach. We're going to go see Louis in a couple of days, measure my body fat, see where we're going to go in terms of changing calories, if he wants to modify the training program. But so far what I've been doing is training 5 days of the week. I'll ideally go 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. And I basically do kind of like back and shoulders, legs and abs, chest and arms. So because I'm going 5 days and it's a 3-day split, I hit everything almost twice a week. And so far, so good. I've just been getting stronger and stronger. Feel full, feel great. I feel like I'm slowly gaining some size. So the bulk is bulking and it's all working out really well. Anyway, we're just finishing up our pre-workout here. Then we're going to hop into the gym, jump into the training for today. I'm going to be trying to do a bit of a Dorian Yates approach to this training, meaning I'm going to start with pullovers to try to exhaust my lats as much as I can before going into one level of a pull down and then one level of a row. As far as the fourth exercise goes, we'll see if we even need one, but I guess we'll find out in a little bit. And then delts, we're pretty much just going to be doing a lot of lateral raises to create a bit more of that wide boulder shoulder effect, and hitting the rear delts as per usual because you can never really have too much rear delts. I don't train my front delts because I hit that enough with my pressing type movements and tends to be overdeveloped on most people anyway, but that might change depending on what my coach thinks in a couple of days. So I'll see you guys in there. Enjoy this workout. Talk to you soon. Let's get it done. Well, here we are for today's voiceover. I was inspired for this workout by a recent Dorian Yates training session where he started with the lat pullover, kind of like the one you see here at Atlantis. The reason why he found the lat pullover to be so great was because it allowed you to exhaust and train the lats through a full range of motion without your biceps or grip strength ever really coming into play, since you're driving kind of through your elbows. And I will admit that initially when you're starting this exercise for the first time, it's a bit awkward to get the mind-muscle connection, but once it's established, it is a stretch and a squeeze like you've never felt before. It's awesome. And it's even better, I think, than like the standing lat pull down straight arm, just because you don't really have to worry about the core. That's at least what Dorian says anyway. Anyway, great exercise. We did 2 hard working sets to failure on that one before we moved on to a bilateral high row here. Typically I do 1 arm at a time so I could focus a bit more on my form, my contraction, but thought I would do a little double arm action as per Dorian's Blood and Guts workout videos. Now I hope if you're watching this that you've also seen that video, because I think every single bodybuilding fan ever has at least watched the black and white training session that he did in Temple Gym back in Birmingham. Anyway, we got up to 2.5 plates here, which felt pretty good for a bilateral pull. Usually I could do 3 plates, I think, 1 arm at a time, but just staying locked into the seat is pretty hard with this kind of weight, so it is what it is. Did about 3 working sets total, and this really helped hit the lower lats for when you are trying to build that Christmas tree look in the back. Third exercise now, we are going to be rolling up with what we call the Yates row. And that is a bent over row at only about 30 to 45 degrees forward tilt. It allows for kind of your upper traps and your mid back to get hit. And again, as per Dorian, helps a lot with the thickness. He did these heavy later in his back workouts, and I think the results speak for themselves when you look at him. So I've been trying to incorporate this for the last, I'd say, couple of months, maybe like early December up until now, at the end of January. It's also pretty safe on the lower back. I've had some injuries in the past with deadlifts or heavy squats hitting my lower back and getting injuries there, so I've nursed that back to health, and I'm at a pretty good point now where I'm quite comfortable doing these. Going for high rep, like 15 or so, and not going too crazy on the weight for the time being. Last exercise we're going to do for back is going to be a one-arm row with this Atlantis machine. You can see how the grip actually can kind of allow you to go neutral, pronated, or supinated. You can twist it as you're rowing. But again, I'm trying to kind of my eyes closed and really just picture the lat contracting, squeezing. It looks like I'm taking a dump. Oh God. It's crazy watching this footage back and trying to do the voiceovers, but it is what it is. At this point, your lats are pretty exhausted, so finishing it off with a focused, total concentration on the squeeze exercise is going to be great, just to force more blood flow, finish off whatever is left in those lats, and just make sure that you didn't leave anything on the table before you move on to delts later in this workout. I always start my delt training with a rear delt exercise, because rear delts tend to be a lagging body part for like 99.9% of gym goers, including myself. Front delt's usually overdeveloped, obviously because we press all the time. But I'll do 4 sets or so, building up to a pretty heavy weight for rear delts. I think here I got up to like 135 on the machine, which is well over what I see a lot of other people doing.
Yes.
Sorry, I do try to get a little amped up before the set. But you know what, man? If you're trying to train hard and get results, why not go all out? Right? Imagine leaving the gym and saying, I could have pushed harder. I could have done 3 more reps on that set. Nah, man, leave it all on the table. Leave the gym knowing that you're not a loser. And that's the name of the game, buddy. Second exercise for delts that we're going to be doing here is some lateral raises. I'm using another Atlantis machine where these handlebars kind of stick out from the bottom. Allows for a really nice amount of constant tension as you move through the range, and it's very, very adjustable. You can lean forward, you can lean back, you can do whatever you want, but it just feels awesome as a movement. I am a big fan of dumbbell lateral raises. I think that's still king at the end of the day. But this is just a way to make sure that you're not going to cheat. You're going to have constant tension and get a lot of really good blood flow and stimulus to the delts. This is what's going to give you that capped look. Anyway, all in all, the lift took 1 hour. Resting about 2 minutes between each set because I was trying to go heavy. And that's that. Alright, so back and delts have officially been demolished. So now we're going to do a bit of a physique check, see how we're looking. I definitely think I gained a little bit of body fat since my last check-in, but I think that's a sacrifice that might have to be made to gain some muscle mass and lean tissue. Let's see what's going on under the hood. Alright. Dude, that's crazy. Look at my delts, bro. That shit is round. Pumped up delts. You can even see that rear delt delineating at the tricep here. That's just badass. Whew. Okay. Let's see what the back looks like as well. So that actually went better than I expected, which is awesome. The big thing for me during my lean bulk is that I wanted to actually keep visible abs while I'm gaining weight. So as long as I can check that in the mirror and see that it's still the case and they're not getting washed out or too watery or just invisible from too much body fat, then I'm on the right track and I'm happy with it. So back is looking like it's getting a bit thicker for sure, which is our big goal. Second big goal of the year is to grow our legs and our quads and hamstrings a bit more. So definitely on the next video, maybe we'll do a leg day and then we'll kind of see how that looks coming up. But anyway, we're gonna do 30 minutes of Stairmaster, and then after that, I'll see you guys in the car for what's coming next. Cool, so cardio finished up and we're here with the post-workout shake, 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream flavored protein. This one's awesome. I think it's from Beyond Yourself, but I'm not super sure. I can double check that and maybe throw it up right here. I'm up 12 pounds from show day, weighing in at a cool 147.5 pounds, which might be a bit deceiving because definitely on camera with a pump and at a lower body fat percentage, I'm going to look like I weigh a little more, right? I'm about 5'6", so people tend to guess that I weigh like 160 or so walking around. But no, I weighed 135 on show day, and now I weigh 147. So that's just being totally transparent with you guys. Weight that you see on the scale might not always equate to what you see in the mirror. And although I think that weighing yourself on a scale is a great way to track progress over weeks and months, if you're kind of seeing the net trend over time, I don't necessarily think that changes on the scale equals progress 1-for-1. Because a lot of us tend to go through a bit of a recomp as we're training. We are losing body fat, but we're also gaining a little bit of muscle, and then the scale might just stay the same for a while, even if you're looking better and better in the mirror. So anyway, just keep that in mind. I'm heading to Costco, get some groceries, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Basically going to be a meal prep for all of the lunches that I have during the work week. Pretty easy to follow along. I hope you guys enjoy it. Catch you in a little bit. I had a comment in my last video asking for meal prep ideas. So I figured today I would make a quick video showing you in just about 5 minutes how you can prep 5 lunches for your whole work week, and they will be packed with high protein, clean carbs, as well as great vitamins and minerals. It's going to seem simple to some, but simple is best when it comes to being healthy, staying fit, building muscle, losing body fat. Whatever your goals may be, this meal prep might be a great option for you. Here we go. So I got 5 containers here, and then I got my 3 main ingredients for these meals. First one being white rice that we made here in our rice cooker that just finished. The second it's done cooking, you want to fluff it up right away. So you open it up, You kind of mix it around so that everything's good. It's already been done in our case, so we're good on that end. Then here we got a bunch of ground beef that we made in a giant pan. I diced up half an onion into the whole thing, as well as putting Montreal steak spice to season it up, so there's some salt and other different ingredients in there. And then finally, from Costco, we have mixed greens, just like that. Keep this in the freezer. They're frozen at the freshest point in their lifespan, so those are gonna be great for us to add. Key ingredient that you're gonna need is a digital food scale. It doesn't have to be digital, but most of the time they are these days. So, food scale down, Tupperware on. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna make an entire meal in one shot, but usually I would go rice first in all of them, then ground beef in all of them, and then vegetables over the top of it all. So what I will be doing is laying on about 200 grams of cooked white rice, steamed in our case, and that's 204 grams, which is fine. Gonna put rice in all 5 of my containers and lay them all out here in just a second. Then we're gonna put in the ground beef. Great, so now that we have our rice laid down, we're gonna be getting our ground beef, measuring out 150 grams of ground beef into each and every container. What's nice about the ground beef is that you're gonna lay it on top of the rice. There's a little bit of that fat that's on it, so that will kind of go into the rice over time and make the rice taste that much better, especially when you warm it up later in the week. So we got the rice done as well as the ground beef. For your information, it is a 90% lean ground beef, so 10% of it is fat. You know, you want to be aware that fats are good to have in your diet. Obviously, they have to be fats from proper sources like animal sources or from nuts or avocados. Those are better. It's not like I'm necessarily just going to be throwing mayonnaise into this thing. And now the final thing that we're going to be adding is going to be our frozen mixed greens here from Costco. Super cheap, super easy to get, but I'm gonna take a half cup of these, just round it off, and I'll be adding these into every single lunch. And what I like so much about this kind of lunch is that not only is the prep pretty quick, rice cooker you don't even have to work, ground beef you're just stirring around in a pan for 15-ish minutes, and the vegetables are already good to go and ready for you when you buy them, so that it tastes good. You know, there's some fat content from the ground beef. When you microwave this and take a spoon to it, you can mix it all around so it all kind of comes together. And usually what I'll do when I have it is I'll drizzle on either mustard if I'm more in a dieting fat loss phase, or I'll have something like a barbecue sauce if I can afford myself the extra calories. So there you have it, super simple. 5 lunches for the entire week, all prepped in about 5 minutes. The macros for a meal like this are gonna be right here. And trust me, you finish a meal like this, you're gonna feel full, you're gonna be satisfied, and you'll be right on your way to hitting your protein goals for the day. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Do save the video if you enjoy it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.